In today's video, we're going to review the Avature 5M Pro, which is the best-selling printer on Amazon. So they say. Actually, have to fact check that, but we'll take a look. Let's see how it does.
So let's take a quick look at the unboxing and setup of this printer. Overall, it's pretty simple. You pull it out of the box. It's not overly heavy. And then you pull off all the plastic around the printer. Then you have some protective foam on the inside along with like the toolkit and stuff like that. The toolkit's on par with pretty much all the other machines I've got. It comes with the snippers, an extra hot end, and stuff like that. Everything's labeled with these little arrows so you know where to put everything. You pretty much just install 2 screws for the spool holder and then take out 3 screws that free the bed plate. All these Core XY printers come screwed down like this to prevent damage during shipping. And then a simple feature, but I do appreciate it, is the power on button, so you don't have to reach around the back and flip the switch every single time. And then through the setup, again, pretty simple. You just go through these prompts, it kind of does its self-leveling thing, and then you install the filament just following the display. And then my printer came with a 1/4 or half roll of sparkle filament. There are several files preloaded on the machine, and one of them was a cube, which I tried to print right away, and it just kind of stalled out for 10 minutes, and I don't know if it was just a corrupt file or what, but I reset the printer and then ran the Benchy, and it ran fine and printed right away. And then for noise of this printer, it's not overly loud. It is kind of loud, but it's pretty much on par with all the other Core XY printers I have. As you can hear the noise, it's the fans, but I also have the microphone inside the printer. All right, print complete. We have a Benchy. So I'm gonna let this cool for a minute. And first impressions, setup was super easy. I would say it took me maybe an hour to get it out of the box, set up, and do its whole sequence thing. I do need to do an update, but we'll do that in a minute. This is the file that was on there, and it looks pretty good. But there is one thing I noticed. Looks like good adhesion. Okay, first thing. They're using a Sparkle PLA, which is smart on their end because the Sparkle PLA and like the carbon fiber infused filaments generally look better than like a standard PLA as there's stuff infused into it. Therefore, it hides defects better. So it is a really good looking Benchy though. But this isn't truly a Benchy. This is a true Benchy. You can't go changing the Benchy, which is the benchmark of testing. But overall, it's good. Not a big deal, but I would use the OG Benchy just cuz. As you can see, that looks pretty clean. Again, it's a sparkle filament. This is just a standard PLA on a Bambu. If anything, a little under extrusion there, but overall, out of the box, that's a good looking Benchy. So I'm gonna get this thing put in its home and I'm gonna run about 100 hours or so through it along with several different filaments, and we're gonna see how this thing performs and we'll check back then. So let's get it moved and printed. Oh. Voila. Okay, so this is the Q1 Pro, 5M Pro. Pretty similar. We'll definitely have to compare these in the future.
So let's get into the actual review of this 3D printer. As I've spent probably a month with it now, I've ran multiple filaments through it, PLA, ABS, PETG. Actually, this is a PC blend. And let's take a closer look at the printer. So look and design of the printer. Essentially the whole thing's plastic. All these doors are plastic, there's no glass. The frame is metal, which is good because it's nice and sturdy. But the outside is all plastic, kind of like the Q1 Pro, which is another like comparable $500 printer. But overall, I think it looks fine. I mean, I didn't expect an all-metal shell for a $500 printer. All right, so moving into the printer, we have a texture PE ice sheet here, which is great. Honestly, I printed a bunch of things and I've never even cleaned it. I had no issues with adhesion. And it also has these little registration pins back here, so you can just drop it in and it's perfect alignment every time. That was one of my big complaints on the Q1 Pro, was there was no like registration marks in the back, so you could set this thing off, versus here you just perfect every time. Then over here you can see we do have a camera so you can monitor your prints. It's not something I really use a ton, but it's nice to have. Also in the back there you can see there is a filtration system, so if you're printing stuff like ABS that puts off kind of fumes, that'll help filter it and get any smells or harsh chemicals out of there. I still wouldn't hang around it if you're printing ABS, but it definitely has to help. Another really cool feature of this printer is their quick swap nozzle, which is truly quick swap and super easy to swap out. So let's go ahead and change the roll of filament, swap the nozzle, and do a first layer test.
So we are using Orca, and we're just gonna add a cube and then scale that to the size of the entire build plate. And your goal is essentially to print as large as you can on your build plate to see what the first layer looks like to ensure you have good spacing between your lines. Too little spacing, it won't stick. Too much spacing, it also won't stick. So if you're having first layer problems, I recommend raising your bed temp first, make sure your build plate's clean, and if those two things don't work, do a first layer test to make sure you have proper Z height or a level bed on your machine. Most of these new printers are pretty efficient in their auto leveling, but it's still something worth checking. So scale this down low enough so you can see that during the preview it's actually one layer, and then that's pretty much it. This is our test. And then Orca does allow you to send it directly to the printer. I did have a couple crashes with large files, but they did have a couple updates, so I'm not sure if they fixed it, but 95% of the time it worked just fine. You just go up to print and then just send it, upload, print. And back to swapping the filament and the nozzles, you just go into the display and just quick swap filament, and it just runs you through some prompts. It's pretty simple. It's gonna heat up the tool head. We're gonna pull this back and just snip the filament, and it'll just purge out the excess. After it's snipped, we'll just pull out the old filament. Then we're just gonna feed in some PLA here to do the first layer test. These are proprietary ends, so they're gonna be a little bit more expensive than normal, and you can't just put any old hot end in there, but as you can see, you just pinch it and pull it out, and it's super easy. And then you just click it back in place and you're good to go. It literally takes seconds. It takes longer to cool down than it does to swap it. Then just follow the load prompts and it's just gonna push out some PLA. And always double check it's actually pulling in the filament and pushing it out of the nozzle. And while we're here, let's check out the display. It works great. I have no issues with it. I would say it's comparable to the other Core XY printers like the Creality and the Bambu. Sometimes you do have to tap the screen twice to get it to register, but I would say 95% of the time it works first push. And then we're just gonna go ahead and run the file we made in Orca.
So while this is printing the first layer, let's talk about this quick swap nozzle, or just like the nozzle size in general. So this printer does come with the quick swap 4 and the quick swap 6. It also has 2 and 8, I think. Honestly, most of the stuff I've been doing with this printer has been with the size 6 nozzle. But why would you use a 0.6 nozzle over a 0.4 nozzle? So I printed these two things to compare it. So the 0.6 nozzle lays down a fatter, thicker line. So for instance, if you're using a 0.4 nozzle and printing 3 layer walls, the 0.6 nozzle can do that same wall thickness with 2 passes instead of the 3 passes it takes for the 0.4 nozzle. Okay, so guess which one was pointed with the 0.4 nozzle and the 0.6 nozzle? It's pretty hard to tell on stuff like this. When you get into stuff with a ton of detail, then you're gonna wanna use the 0.4 nozzle, or you could even go down to the 0.2 nozzle, which is, they print clean enough, so a 0.2 nozzle is not really something I'd use unless you're trying to get a ton of detail. All right, so this was printed with the 0.6 nozzle, and this was printed with the 0.4 nozzle. And as you can see, since printing 3 walls on each one, this one printed in 4 hours and 16 minutes, and this one with the 0.4 nozzle printed in 5 hours and 58 minutes. So as you can see, you're saving one whole layer line if you're printing 3 walls with the 0.6 nozzle. So you can print things like this stuff a lot faster. So if you're printing stuff like this or you need thicker walls, I would definitely check out a 0.6 nozzle. It's also claimed to be stronger as it's 2 thick walls versus 3 thinner walls. And then also here are the little trays. So this was printed with the 0.6 nozzle, and it took 1 hour 20, and this was printed with a 0.4 nozzle and took 1 hour 30. So as you can see with this stuff, it doesn't really matter as much because it's not quite as big, so you're not really saving a ton of time. And this kind of stuff here is where it kind of really saves the time. Or even this giant frog I printed. I printed this thing solid, and I printed it in 12 hours. Okay, here's another example. You can see the layer lines are thicker, so when you have a ton of detail or steps up like this, the lines are going to be more noticeable, as you can see there. But then this is printed with the 0.4 nozzle and a lower layer height. You can see just how smooth those step-ups are. So to confirm, it is the #1 printer on Amazon. The little brother, actually. It's not labeled bestseller for this specific printer, but the regular 5M. And it's rated 4 out of 5 stars, which is pretty good for Amazon. A lot of like the 1-star reviews are like, my printer came broken, which it's hard to really blame the company for that because the shippers can be pretty rough on stuff as someone who's shipped things for a living themselves. So that sucks. Hopefully customer service fixes that stuff for them. Another complaint is the customer service is not that great through Amazon. I don't really know what that means, and if Amazon's just like a third party, so maybe buy it through Flashforge. I personally haven't had to deal with the Flashforge customer service. Another thing is layer adhesion. I've had no issues with the first layer. I don't know if they've changed things or updated things since, but stuff has stuck great. Another thing is people have issues running certain filaments through this machine. I personally have had no issues. The PC did give me a little trouble, as I'll show you, because there wasn't a print profile, but also I don't know what Flashforge Slicer has to offer because I didn't use it. But these things aren't just plug and play as they claim to be. They are a lot easier to use than they used to be, but if your stuff ain't sticking on the first layer, raise the bed temp. Then if that doesn't work, check your Z height and make sure you have proper smoosh across your layer lines. That's a big one. I honestly don't use any glue stick or anything with pretty much any of my printers anymore because they just don't need it, but you're still gonna have to tweak them a little bit. So I think 4 out of 5 stars is pretty good for a $500 3D printer. Let's look what the Q1 Pro is, because I think that's a pretty good printer too. There's some cosmetic issues with it. Oh, look at this. So the Q1 Pro out of 336 ratings has 4.5 stars. So if you're interested, I'll compare that, apply $80 coupon. So it would be under $500 for that printer as well. So Flashforge has 1,400 reviews and 4 out of 5 stars. So I would say they're pretty similar. So, and our first layer is done. So I'm gonna let this cool and then we'll peel this off and see how it looks. Ooh, it's still pretty hot. But as you can see, that is a good first layer. No gaps in between the layer lines. Over there, we got a high spot where it's a little too much smoosh. And the tip drug across it, apparently. But yeah, as you can see, that is a beautiful first layer. There we go. All right, and as you can see, I think that's a good first layer. Everything looks perfect up here. And then on the back, like I said, there was a little too much smoosh, but that's good. I have no complaints with the build plate. All right, so let's take a look at all the stuff I printed here. So I showed you these at the 0.4 and 0.6 nozzle. I think these look great. Again, I would say quality is pretty similar from the 0.6 to the 0.4, nice and smooth. This is ABS. Looks beautiful. Nice first layer, no warping. This is also just black ABS. Again, nice clean lines, no warping. Looks great. All right, then this is PETG, stock profile. I probably changed the temp, but that's all. Looks great. A little bit of overflow on the top there. This is translucent PETG from Bambu. You can see this thing printed beautiful. Awesome ram skull. I thought this would look cool and almost look like glass, but it kind of just looks like a crumpled piece of garbage. But as you can see though, the layer lines are pretty clean. You can see the Z seems pretty ugly, but that's something you could calibrate. All right, and these are the first prints I've done. These were pre-saved files on the machine. You can see they look great in that sparkle PLA. The benchy, this planter is flawless. Printed this Darth Vader out of PLA. He's pretty dusty, but as you can see, he's nice and clean. Top layers look good. Bottom layer's nice. Nice and smooth. He is beautiful. Beautiful and girthy. And then someone recommended that I should run a PC through it. I didn't have any polycarbonate or PC, but I did have this PC PETG blend and it printed it great. So there wasn't a pre-made print profile for a PC, so I essentially copied one from the Q1 Pro. And my first attempt, this printed great. The layer separated and broke off when I pulled it off. So not the best, but quality's there. And then I printed this SD card holder next, and it actually printed it pretty good. Like, this is nice and clean, no warping for a high bed temp. But here we see the threads on this one didn't have any good adhesion. But again, this is just my second attempt with it. So I printed this. This is it's a backpack holder for a clothes hanger, but it printed this beautifully. Full disclosure, Flashforge did send me this printer to review free of charge. I didn't get paid or anything to do it. I just received the printer to make a review video. And with that said, what do I think of the printer? I think it's a great printer. For $500, I've seen it as low as $469. I think it's a great value. I hardly had to tweak any filaments. I had no bed adhesion issues. I have like 80 hours into it. So as for the long-term review of the printer, I can't really give that to you because I'm still in the early stages of owning it. So I do think this is a great printer for a beginner. The setup was super easy. I haven't had really any major issues with it. A few small stuff I had to tweak, but overall it was pretty easy to get going, and it was reliable for me for the first little bit that I've used the printer. And customer service I can't speak for because I haven't used it, so I can't give you any insight there. So printers this is comparable to, I would say it's comparable to the Creality K1C, the Kitty Q1 Pro, or like the Bambu P1S. So I personally would recommend this printer. I think it's great. I've talked to a couple other friends who have these printers and they also thought it was a pretty good printer. For the people that don't like them, I'm not sure if they just got duds, if it's a quality control issue or what's going on there, but for my personal experience with about 80 hours into this printer, I think it's a great printer and I would recommend it to a friend if they only had $500 to spend. And that's the end of the video, guys. If you want to support us on Patreon, we're trying to build a community over there. If you're having first layer problems or something like that, I can try to help you out. I also have some files that I've been uploading over there. So check that out. We appreciate it. But either way, we just appreciate you watching the videos. Thanks for watching, and I hope you guys all have a wonderful day.